Hi everyone. Recently, Datawrapper announced a new integration of the tool within PowerPoint. And they mentioned here in their blog how we can download the free Datawrapper add-in to PowerPoint, and they give links and they explain a little bit of the capabilities and how we can, if there is a chart inside our folders, we can just directly add it from Datawrapper into PowerPoint. But it also allows us to create and edit a chart already within PowerPoint, so no need to open the platform in the browser. And they also mentioned something here about the privacy settings and how they can be shared and exported, some items about the collaborations and reusing the visualizations for different types of outputs and so on. And also embedding the interactive version of the chart. So I built here the PowerPoint. I have this one chart that is just an image, and this one here that is interactive. Let me place this in presenter mode. And you can see here that I can interact with the chart. I can zoom in and out and see more data and move around, do stuff, go back to the original image, and all of that was built here inside of PowerPoint. So let me show you the if you are unfamiliar with Datawrapper, in the website datawrapper.de, we have some information here about charts and the types of charts that you can create, how it is done, and the different capabilities. And also, another item that we can work on is I have here for this example the chart that I built in PowerPoint, this choropleth map with Datawrapper. I will add a link to this book to the description of this video. And the idea here is that we can, this book gives the example of the house cost difference in different states in the United States, and they give here the information about how to have access to the sheet and copying and setting it up. So all this process that is explained here in this tutorial is what I followed inside of PowerPoint to create this chart that we are seeing here. So if you are going to follow along, notice here that when you create the data set. So I'm just going to show you here what it looks like. We can come here to edit the visualization. The process that I followed here is, first of all, we select the map that we are going to use. So in my case, I selected here USA states. Then I added the data because I had the file loaded to a Google Sheets, and this is what the data looks like. That's coming from the book. And if you are going to follow along, make sure that your file is set to share and possible to edit, which is the highest sharing settings that we can provide. So let me just show here. Anyone with the link, you can edit, copy the link, and paste it in um, here in Datawrapper. Notice here that's connected to Google Sheet, and they give you some options here to check if there's an error or anything. So we can go to proceed, and here I set up a little bit of this look that you can see here. So I'm showing the percentage change. I selected this palette with steps, which I made custom according to these values. And notice that a lot of this setup that I built here, it is based on what is shown here in this chart, in the description in the book. So they mention here to go to Google Sheet, make a copy, open, start creating the new map. So select the map USA. In this case, they mention USA states with what I used. Then they said add your data and add the URL of the Google Sheets. So again, I'm just showing you the description of the process that I followed. And when you go here to add the data, they give some description. Notice that they are using the data that's from home value. Here in our sheet, we have the dataset contains the code of the state, the name, the August home value, and the August 2020 value. So how the home value changed within a year, and here is the percentage change between them. And in the same sheet file, they have the notes here that represents a little bit of extra details, including the data source and the calculated how they calculated the percentage change. So this is what refers to these three fields here that can be used to color your chart. And here in the Refine tab, that is where we get to select the different items that we are using. So in Refine, select the field that we are working with and the color palette. And in this case, I used the steps instead of continuous with the different steps here. And the legend, show the legend, and in this case, for the map zoom, I added here to the right, and so on. Here in Annotate, I added the title of the chart with some description here. Alaska had the lowest value, while Idaho and Arizona had the highest change. Then the data source, that's the piece that shows here in the bottom, is housing data Zillow research with a link. And this information, again, came directly here from the notes section with the link to the data source that we can check. And then byline, this is my name, and also the out value here for someone that is using screen hit readers. So it's a good practice. If we needed, we could add some labels here, but I noticed that started getting too busy, so in my case it wasn't needed, and add some text annotation and show tooltips, which only happens when we are using the interactive version of the map. In the case of an image, it's not interactive. That's why I tried the two cases here in my presentation. One is just the image, and the other is the interactive version of it. And here in the layout, I created, that's when we get to decide the type of layout that we're going to use. They have different varieties here. And if we're going to embed, select to embed here. If other people want to use this data, we also have the option to add the social media links and some other settings here. But an important item that I wanted to show you is here regarding the tooltips. Because here in the tooltips, notice how I have the state name and the values in 2019 and 2020. And these tooltips are based on this type of formatting that we can use. In this case, we have the name of the field that we can use the format function to HTML to give the numbers this thousand separation, and there's also this option here that when you click in an item, it sticks there. Notice that I just click it here. Now when I navigate, it keeps stuck there. But if I click somewhere else, and then it unselects that one. Just in a case that you want to show, for example, Idaho, but can still want to show different areas, but Idaho value is still there, for example. And then just by clicking anywhere else, it unselects. So this is how this text is done. And then when you come here to uh, publish and embed. So there is an entire settings here that we can select to publish online. Notice that we can keep the visualization only in PowerPoint, and that's going to make it a static embed. But if we want to use the interactive version of it, then we need to have this the published version. Otherwise, it's not possible to make interactive. So I'm just going to get out here. And another thing that I did, I just give it a second to load the visualization. Because this one here is an image, another thing that I could do is I can set a transparent background, and I added an image here that's coming from the PowerPoint itself, pictures. When I come here to online pictures, and I can just type here, for example, house, and it gives me some options. In this case, I selected this one here. I flipped it because I wanted this side of the house to be in the other side, so it could look like this. And I also added here in this presentation, so I'm going to right click here and come to format shape. This is a rectangle that has a gradient fill, and I added this um, transparency here. This one here, notice that transparency is 0, but this side here, the transparency is 100, just to give this gradient effect here that we have in this image. And then that's how I ended up with this image here that can be used in a presentation. And alternatively, the other option is to have the interactive version of the chart, but notice that in the interactive version, we don't have an option to make a transparent background, but still the only option that I had here is padding, but still we can edit the visualization. It is going to go back here and pretty much in the same place, so we can change our settings and do whatever we want to do. In order to have an interactive version of the chart, there is a secondary add-in that you need to add, which they also give, which also Datawrapper gives here on the website. And this, so how to embed interactive visualizations. Pretty much all we need to do is to get the add-in for interactive visualization, and they have here a point that's important to make, that they recommend choose data wrapper add-in that embeds the static visualization for most cases, as opposed to embedding the interactive. The static visualization loads instantly when presented, and it will work when you are offline or when sharing the PowerPoint file. So if you're sharing with someone, make sure and be careful, because this is the interactive version is only good on your own browser when you know that you have internet, what they want presenting, and everything would work fine. So once you have the interactive visualization with the wrapper add-in installed, all we need to do is to install the visualization ID, which you can obtain from the sharing link options. So in my case, when I come here to edit visualization, and here in the set, in the publish and the embed, all I needed to do, was to copy this code here in the end, this MZ data, and paste it inside the interactive ID, and it loaded this chart here for me. So that's it. That's an overview of the plugin. There is a lot of potential here, and if you are interested in learning more about how to use Datawrapper inside of a PowerPoint, just send a message and like and subscribe, and I'll know that there is more interest, and I'll keep building stuff. Thank you. Talk soon. Bye.